Hi, friends. Hi. Martha Creek here. We're about a third of the way in of the year of this immersion of the science of mind that I'm offering my own reflections and applications about this. There's also other resources, plenty. If you Google science of mind or the science of mind, including all these readings and references that am using and have been using laid out in a PDF format so you can follow along with the actual readings without having the book. And of course, some of you may have the book. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the questions that I get, some of them about the religious science movement and science of mind. So, science of mind is the textbook, it's a general term. The science of mind applies to the teaching, Ernest Holmes' teaching from 1926 and back, and it's considered a spiritual, philosophical, and metaphysical movement within a greater movement called the New Thought movement. In general, the term science of mind applies to the teaching, while the term religious science applies to organizations that were formed over the years since the 20s that were called religious science science churches, religious science centers. That was United Church of Religious Science and another organization that have been together and apart and together and apart over the years. That's now called, unless they stayed independent churches, they're merged now and renamed into the Centers for Spiritual Living. And the science of mind is still the basis for the teachings, the ordination practices, the practitioner training within the Centers for Spiritual Living, and is then also linked as like a sister organization with other New Thought organizations like Unity, Worldwide Ministries, and Divine Science, etc. This was first established with a publication called The Science of Mind, in which Dr. Ernest Holmes stated religious science is a correlation of laws of science, opinions of philosophy, and revelations of religion applied to human needs and the aspirations of the human. This is what inspires me. He also stated that religious science, science of mind, is not based on any authority of established beliefs. That inspired me. Rather, it is on the basis of what it can do, what it can accomplish, what can be demonstrated, manifest, made possible in creation and co-creation for the people who practice it, who apply it. That inspires me. And from the history, Ernest Holmes did not originally intend for it to be a church, but rather a teaching, and then a method of teaching, an institution of teaching, very similar to Unity, that those founders, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, didn't intend it to become a church, but a teaching. So here we are. Others that were linked in then to this time, this early 1900s, includes Phineas Quimby as a source of inspiration to the New Thought movement, Emma Curtis Hopkins, a student of Christian Science, and Thomas Trord and Ralph Waldo Emerson, as they developed their own synthesis of what has become known now within our science of mind teachings, have been influenced in that way. And then their teachings and their essays and that are required study for those practitioners in training and ministers in training relative to this science of mind teaching. It also references the teachings of Jesus, biblical teachings, which I refer to here. So scripture, the Bible, and Buddha, and other enlightened beings. So it is not minus that or opposing that in any way. And there's some differences in that Dr. Holmes saw humans as being open at the top, that is, open to an evolutionary improvement of consciousness in all areas of life. That is my inspiration, to stay open at the top and to stay open to, devoted to, and committed to my own evolutionary improvement of consciousness within me in all areas of life. And I believe that whatever I can do to improve my own consciousness is a contribution to improving in the evolution of the human consciousness, the larger field, quantum theory. So, application, using the law, the principles, far more important than spouting the law. Blessings, friends. See you tomorrow.